I think one of the most disheartening feelings that you can feel as an adult male is seeing a pair of boobs and feeling absolutely nothing. Um, Listen, I'm sorry if you can't relate to that, if you're a woman or not a heterosexual male. And I don't mean to offend anybody, but I'm just going to be talking about my personal health in this video. I took some blood tests many months ago and then recently, and I wanted to compare those results. Also, I should say that this video is going to have some TMI, so too much information about my personal life. So if you are a member of my family or a business associate of mine, do not watch this video. You have been warned. So if you talk to me about these topics, okay, I'll know that you watched the video, and I told you not to watch the video. So one of the worst things that you can feel as an adult man is seeing a pair of boobs and feeling nothing. Or if you're not into boobs, if you're more of a booty guy, seeing a very nice booty and feeling absolutely nothing. Now, what do I mean by that, okay? When my girlfriend sends me sexy pictures, I literally start giggling like a little schoolgirl. It makes me feel awesome. I get super excited, I get amped up, and I'm not joking, I start giggling like a little schoolgirl. I get a massive smile on my face. It's awesome, bro. And that is, I feel like, a universal feeling of guys when they see something that they're attracted to, and, you know, kind of your libido spikes. And when I was younger, when I was a young man, when the hormones first started raging in my body, I feel like my overall testosterone, free testosterone, libido was a lot higher. And as you kind of grow up as an adult man, I feel like those levels start to kind of balance out, and they start to get lower. And then as you get older and older, you know, 40 years old, 50 years old, they can get really low. Now, when I say that my libido was sky high when I was a youngin', you know, I'm talking a young lad, you know, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, whatever. You know, there were times when I was young when, you remember those science books? I don't know if they had them in where you're from, in your country, your state, or wherever you are. But when I was growing up, we had science books. And on some of the pages, they depicted what a guy and a girl's body look like, a woman and a man's body look like when they're adults. And you know, they'd be depicted as naked cartoon drawings in the science book. Bro, seeing those boobs turn me on as a youngin', okay? So, and that, you know, can only do with the facts that my testosterone, my free testosterone in my body was super, super high. For those of you who don't know, your libido basically means your level of horniness. Having a high libido means really horny. Having a low libido means, you know, nothing really going on. And that kind of has to do with how high your testosterone levels are, your free testosterone levels. I know this is a very off topic. I know I'm supposed to be a gamer. I'm supposed to make gaming videos, but listen, this is, again, an ongoing part of my vlog series where I just talk about things that are on my mind, and this is just some things that I think about. Anyway, fast forward to this year, I really started to notice over the past year or two that, you know, my body and my brain have changed a lot since I was a youngin' back then. You know, and again, it got to the point where, you know, I would see a pair of boobs and I would feel nothing. And that, I don't know how to describe it, is such like a sad feeling. It's such a disheartening feeling. It's obviously not one of the worst problems to have. You know, there's plenty of worse things that could be going on in life than that. But for me, this was, you know, kind of a big deal. It was like, what the fuck, bro? I have a really, you know, attractive girlfriend, and I want to, you know, be inspired when I look at her. So at that point, I had done a little bit of research on hormones, and I kind of knew, you know, what the problem could have been. So I did something that I had never really done in the past. I went to go get my blood work done, and I went to go check my free testosterone. I had checked my testosterone levels in the past, which were always around like 900 to 1,000 nanograms per deciliter, which is on the high end of healthy for my range. But I had never actually checked my free testosterone levels, which I didn't know this until recently, and I am not a doctor or a scientist by any means. I am just a simple young man who is interested. I learned a lot of these things from forums and podcasts. But basically, your free test levels are actually the free testosterone that is able to be used by your tissue and, you know, is going to cause you to have a high or a low libido. So I went and got my free testosterone levels checked, and I'm going to go put these on screen for you guys. I went and took this test in July July, the end of July. All right, so in the test that I took in July, my free testosterone levels were at 14.5 picograms per milliliter. And as you can see a little bit over to the right of that, it shows you a reference for the healthy range for my age. So the low end would be 9.3 and the high end would be 26.5. Now, granted, 14.5 really isn't that bad, but it definitely was a lot lower. And I can't tell for sure because I never took blood tests growing up. When I was younger, I never checked that value, but I guarantee you that that is probably some of the lowest free tests that I have had in my life since I was a youngin' and I started, the hormone genesis or whatever the fuck you call it in your body. So that was kind of the blood test where I was at. And my goal was to raise that free testosterone level. That was so important to me. And first of all, I wanted to figure out why it could have been like that. And I did some research. I talked to a few friends of mine who are a little bit more knowledgeable than me. And I kind of figured out, and I'm sure there's a way to test for this too, but I figured out that something called my sex hormone binding globulin, which is a protein that binds to the hormones in your body, estrogen, testosterone. And when those SHBG levels are high, then your free testosterone is low because all of those little proteins are hanging on to your testosterone in your blood. And they're like, haha, bitch, can't go anywhere, can't do anything. But when those levels are low, then you have lots of free testosterone in your body. So my goal was, how the fuck do I bring these SHBG levels from up here and bring them down here? Because I had spent the past few months on a very heavy bulk. I was trying to put on a ton of muscle and I basically just ate a bunch of very bad food. I was eating In-N-Out every single day for months, sometimes multiple times a day. I would be consuming tons of sugar in the form of cookies and ice cream and pretty much anything that I could do to get well above my daily calorie maintenance level and keep myself in a calorie surplus so that I can, always be building muscle. So I did that for a really long time. That was the first time I ever really did it. And I kind of fucked myself over. I destroyed my insulin levels. And again, like my SHBG levels were really high as well. So my goal was, bring them down. So I researched, how do you bring down these SHBG levels to free up some of that free testosterone? So one of the biggest things that I had read on these forums and kind of just by researching was fasting. So I began fasting pretty aggressively after that blood test. So what I did was I spent 18 hours every day in a fast. Now, what does that mean? I would pretty much have my last meal around 8 or 9 at night, and then I wouldn't eat again until around 1 to 2 to 3 p.m. the next day. I would see how long I can hold that fast. I would usually decide to exercise in the morning. Right in the morning when I woke up, I would have a cup of coffee and then I would exercise, and I would do that every other day, but I would fast every single day. And then during my eating period, which was typically from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Or 3 p.m. to 9 p.m., I try to keep it around 6 hours. I left myself 6 hours to eat all of the calories that I need to stay at my maintenance level, or I think I was eating for slightly below my maintenance level for a while. And I heavily depended on eggs. I ate a carton of eggs every single day. I tried to keep it really healthy for the most part. It was not easy. Doing that is not easy. But I did it for a long time. And because of that, making some really intense lifestyle changes, staying very consistent with the exercise and overall just bettering my life. I get sun every day. I started taking cold ice baths a few times a week. I started stretching really actively in the mornings, trying to open up my body and all of my muscles. I do yoga now, and I did that mainly because I have a very effed up back. I have sciatica right now, so I'm actively trying to recover from that. And I think all of that combined led us to today, which is the results from my next blood test, from this recent blood test that I took. I think it was 2 weeks ago or a week ago. I even took you guys on a vlog the day that I took that blood test. So these are the results. Here are my free testosterone levels. We are at a beautiful 25.7 picograms per milliliter. And as you can see, again, the healthy range for somebody in my age is between 9.3 on the low end and 26.5 on the high end. So we are right on the cusp of being over the high end for somebody in our age for free testosterone. Now, how does this change affect me mentally? Why am I even talking about this? First of all, and this brings us back to the beginning of our video, I no longer look at a pair of boobs and see nothing. I seek every color of the fucking rainbow. I am inspired. And I feel great. Like I said, I giggle like a little fucking schoolgirl sometimes. And you know, more importantly than that, that's kind of just a side effect of, you know, being overall like very well motivated. I feel like my sleeps have been deeper. I feel like I'm overall more motivated than I was before. I wake up early in the mornings. That's what I'm doing right now. I am currently getting some sun right now. The sun just rose over LA. It is fairly early in the morning, 8:51, I guess, not really that early anymore. And I'm really just standing here and taking in some sun, which I try to do every single morning. It does make me feel really good. I'm doing it indoors today because it's cold as shit out in Los Angeles. And yeah, I'm not trying to get cold right now. I do purposely get cold sometimes, but not right now. So that's kind of my vibe here. But yeah, I just thought I would share all of that information. Again, it might have been TMI. I apologize. But then again, this is my YouTube channel and I can kind of do whatever the F I want to do. And I have been doing whatever the F I want to do. And it's been fun. It's been motivating me to keep making videos. I know I haven't made a vlog in the past few days, but honestly, I just haven't really had anything to vlog. I've been doing taxes and I've been watching a lot of anime. Dragon Ball Z, for those of you guys who don't know Dragon Ball Z, the episodes drag on very long. I'm currently at the Frieza saga and I've just been kind of letting it run in the background as I've been doing things. Also, again, our company is in Q4 right now, so we are on go mode every single day, Monday through Friday. So yeah, I just haven't had much to vlog these past few days, but today I just kind of wanted to hop on here and go over my test results, talk for a little bit. I also just want to mention again, I do not take testosterone. I have never taken testosterone, and I would 100% let you guys know if and when I do. It is not something that I'm going to do anytime soon because I have very healthy levels and I am just in the pursuit of, you know, keeping those as elevated as possible naturally. And I think there will come a point in time in my life where it'll make sense for me to use testosterone. And I think that'll be an interesting time. It may be a good thing. It may be a bad thing. Who knows? You know, all I know for now is that, you know, the way that I'm rocking is solid and I'm just going to keep going on with that. So I just felt like it was important to mention because people are going to maybe call me like a test junkie or something like that for, you know, talking about this stuff. It just interests me, bro. I think this shit is super interesting to talk about. And I think it's important to learn about. I think it's super sad that we don't get taught this stuff in school because, you know, besides the people around you and where you grow up, your hormones in your brain really are what develop your personality, who you are, what you think about. So I think just, you know, learning more about that is powerful. And I think school should have taught me that. I never learned it in school. Maybe you learned it in school. I didn't fucking learn this shit in school. So yeah, just wanted to say that again. Thank you guys. Have an awesome day. I love you guys. And yeah, later.